Hello everyone, I've got a predicted paper in front of me. It's a GCSE Maths Higher Paper 2, it's a calculator paper. So I'm going to be going through this now and I will be showing you all of the workings that the examiners expect to see. So question 1, use your calculator to work out 432.6 squared minus 1041.6 all divided by the cube root of 98,765.4. Write down all the figures on your calculator display. So it's just checking that you can use your calculators correctly, okay? So we want to be knowing where all our buttons are, very familiar with our calculators, but some tips are to put each number individually in brackets. Okay, and I would even go ahead and put the entire numerator in brackets as well. That makes sure that the calculator knows which calculations to do, and it's going to give you the right answer, okay? So this is a long number that the calculator is going to spit out. It is 4026.0652061. Round your answer from part A to two significant figures. So we're going to look to the third significant figure. If it's less than 5, we round down. If it's 5 and above, we round up. So we've got a 2. So then we round down and that rounds to just a 0. So we have 4,000. This is to two significant figures, okay? Question 2. The terms in an arithmetic sequence are as follows. Minus 14, minus 2, 10 and 22. Work out in terms of n the nth term of this sequence. So what do we need to do first? We need to find out what the sequence is going up in. The difference between minus 14 and minus 2 is 12. We're adding 12. And then from minus 2 to 10, we're adding 12 again and adding 12. Okay. So this gives us 12n, right? Now n is the term. This is the first term, the second term. So n times 1 gives us 12 times 1 gives us 12. But we have minus 14 as the first term. So what's the difference between 12 and minus 14? That's 26. So we need to subtract 26. We can check that for the second term. 12 times 2 is 24. Minus 26 gives us minus 2. So the nth term is 12n minus 26. Hence, work out the 92nd term in this sequence. So we just need to sub 92 in for n. N is 92. So 12 times by 92 minus 26, we can put this into our calculator and it will give us 1078. Okay, 1078 is the 92nd term in this sequence. Okay, some compound interest. Amira invests £2,500 in a savings account that pays 3.2% compound interest per year. Calculate the total amount in the account after 4 years and give your answer to the nearest penny. 3.2% as a percentage multiplier is 0.032. If we need to calculate the total amount afterwards, then we're going to increase 2,500 by 0.032. So we're going to times 2,500 by 1.032. 1 because that we're keeping 100% and we're basically adding on 0.032 of the amount. But we're doing this for 4 years, so we're gonna put a power of 4 on that increase multiplier there. Putting that into our calculator, we get 2,835.6903. So the nearest penny, this is £2,835, pound symbol, don't forget pound symbol, and 69 pence. Okay, after 4 years, Amira withdraws all the money from the account. She then invests it in a different account that pays 2.5% simple interest per year. How much interest will she earn in the next 3 years? We're looking at the interest, not the total amount. So we're going to take 2,835.69 and the 2.5% simple interest, a multiplier of 0.025. We're going to multiply this total amount by 0.025, and it's over 3 years, so we're going to multiply it by 3 as well. this comes out to be 212.67675, which is £212.68. Okay. Question 4. The table shows information about the daily rainfall in millimeters in a town during the month of April. The daily rainfall. April has 30 days. Okay. So we have rainfall, we have class intervals, and frequencies. I'm expecting frequency to add up to 30 since there's 30 days in April. The question says to find the class interval that contains the median rainfall. So we need a cumulative frequency column first. Okay. 4, add 7, 11, add 9, 20, add 6, 26, add 4, 30. As expected, 30. The class interval that contains the median rainfall, well, our total frequency is 30. The midpoint of 30 divided by 2 is 15. So which class interval contains 15? Well, this one goes up to 4, the second one goes up to 11, the third one goes up to 20, so that includes 15. So the correct interval is between 10 and 15. 10 less than r less than or equal to 15. Okay. Part B is to work out an estimate for the mean daily rainfall in April, giving you an answer to 1 decimal place, 3 marks. Okay. So what do we need? We need another column. We need to find the midpoint of these class intervals. So the midpoint of 0 and 5, well, to find a midpoint between two numbers, we can add them together and divide by 2. Half of 5 is 2.5. Half of 15 is 7.5. And each class interval has a different, is to get 12.5, 17.5, and then 22.5 there. Now we need to incorporate the frequency with these midpoints, so we're going to multiply each midpoint by the frequency. Let's do this. Midpoint times frequency here, and I'll put it on the right. So 2.5 times 4, we get 10. 7.5 times 7, we get 52.5. 12.5 times 9, 112.5. 17.5 times 6, 105. And then 22.5 times 4, we get 90. Okay. Now if we add all of this up, we end up with 370. This 370, remember when we find the mean, we add all of our numbers up and we divide by how many there are. This 370 represents all of the numbers added up. So now we just need to divide by our frequency. So 370 divided by our frequency of 30 max. Yep. Okay, this gives us 12.333 recurrent. To 1 decimal place, rounding down, 12.3. 12.3. Cool. Question 5. Ethan completes a 1,600 meter training run. He jogs the first 950 meters in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. He then sprints the remaining 650 meters in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Ethan's average speed during the sprint section is X% faster than his average speed during the jog section. Calculate the value of X. Okay, here's our equation that we're going to be using. Well, speed is distance over time. Okay, we need distance and we need time. We have our distance in meters and our time currently is in minutes and seconds. We'll convert to seconds, work with seconds, okay? So for the first part, when he jogs, it's 4 minutes and 12 seconds, so we're going to do 4 times 60 seconds in a minute, plus 12. And for the second one, the sprinting section, we're going to do 2 times 60 and add 18. This is 252 seconds, and this is 138 seconds. Okay, now average speed average speed, total distance over total time. Speed, I'll put speed 1, is 950 over 252. That comes out to be 3.7698 meters per second. Speed 2 is 650 over 138. It comes out to be 4.7101. So slightly faster because it's sprinting. We have the final, take away the initial over the initial. And then we times that by 100 to turn it into a percentage. So what do we have? We have 4.7101 minus 3.7698 by 100. So you're using your calculator, you want to be using the exact value for each of these numbers. Keep all of our decimals inside. Get a more accurate answer that way, and it ends up with 24.9 here, which is 25%. Okay, 25% faster. Okay, question 6. Solve the simultaneous equations. 9x minus 6y is 114. 5x minus 9y is 30.75. So we need to make either the coefficients of x the same or the coefficients of y the same. I'm going to choose y because I can see that 9 times 2 is 18 and 6 times 3 is also 18. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 3 and this equation by 2. So 9, 18, 27x minus 18y is 342. Then we have 10x minus 18y multiplying by 2. We get 61.5. Now we're looking at our signs. If the signs are different, we add them together to cancel them out. If they're the same, we subtract them. Okay. I'm going to do equation 1, take away equation 2. 27 minus 10, we get 17x. 342 minus 61.5 leaves us with 280.5. X is going to be 280.5 over 17, so x is 16.5. Cool. Now let's choose one of our equations and substitute x into it. I'm going to choose the first equation. 9, we know that x is 16.5, so 9 times 16.5, taken away 6y is 114. Okay, I'm going to expand that to get 148.5, and then I'm also going to move the 6y over to the other side and bring the 114 over to the left in one clean sweep, right? So minus 114, this is 6y. Notice how the signs change because we have to add 6y to both sides and take 114 from both sides. So rewriting that as 6y equals to 34.5. 34.5 over 6 is going to give us y. Y is 5.75. Okay, so x was 16.5 and y 5.75. Okay, lovely. Question 7. A company designs a new type of candle holder made from 2 solid shapes. The base is a cylinder with a radius of 5 centimeters and a height of 2 centimeters. On top of the base is a hemisphere with the same radius. We need to calculate the total volume of the candle holder and give our answer to 1 decimal place. Okay. A cylinder and a hemisphere, half a sphere. What equations are we working with? Well, the volume of a cylinder is the area of a circle times by some height. So that's going to be pi r squared h. Now the volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cubed, but we have a hemisphere here. So the volume of a hemisphere is going to, well, a hemisphere is half a sphere, right? So we're going to halve this equation. If we multiply this equation by a half, that is going to become 4 over 6, which is 2 over 3, or we can just divide that 4 by 2. So 2 by 3 pi r cubed is the volume for our hemisphere. Now we have the radius, which is 5 centimeters, and we have the height, which is 2 centimeters. All we need to do is substitute our values in. So I'm going to combine those equations. The total volume, VT, as pi r squared h plus 2 by 3 pi r cubed squared bracket 2 to substitute plus 2 by 3 pi bracket 5 cubed. And this can just go straight into your calculator. What does that come out to be? That comes out as 418.879. Okay, to one decimal place, 418.9. Now, don't forget your units. There's a 5-mark question. Centimeters cubed. Cubed because we're working with volume. When if we add fractions together, we need to make sure the denominators are the same. Right now we have denominators of x squared minus 9 and x plus 3. They are not the same. Do you know anything about the x squared minus 9? What is this? Well, x squared is a square number, and 9 is also a square number, 3 times 3. We're subtracting them. So what are we doing? We're finding the difference between two squares. So straight away we know that we can factorize that, right? So rewriting that first fraction as 2x over x plus 3 and x minus 3. You remember that? And then this is add 3 over x plus 3. 3 over x plus 3. So now we need to make these denominators the same. The only difference is that the first fraction has the denominators being multiplied by x minus 3. It has an x minus 3 in the denominator. X minus 3. Remember that we can't just multiply the denominator. We have to multiply the numerator and denominator as well, because this is just 1. Multiplying by 1 doesn't change the fraction. It just changes the way it looks. So x minus 3 over x minus 3, so I'll rewrite that, and because the denominators are going to be the same, I'm going to combine the fraction. So we get 2x minus 3 all over x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay. Now I can expand that bracket in the numerator and get 2x plus 3x minus 9 all over x plus 3, x minus 3. There's a reason, yeah, okay. I can collect my like terms on the top and get 5x minus 9. And then I'm just going to expand this back into the difference of two squares. The two square numbers there. Okay. Simplify fully. That will be my final answer. Okay. Question 9. Alex has only red, blue and green marbles. The number of red marbles Alex has is n. The number of blue marbles is 5 more than the number of red marbles, and the number of green marbles is 5 more than the number of blue. Alex selects 2 marbles at random, and the probability that both marbles selected are red is less than 1/10. We need to show that n squared minus 97n minus 210 is less than 0. Okay. Looks a bit overwhelming at first. This is a 4-mark question. But what do we have? Let's have a look. Red marbles is n. Blue marbles is 5 more than red. So algebraically that's n plus 5, right? The green marbles, 5 more than blue. N plus 5 plus 5 is n plus 10. Okay. And we're working with probabilities. The probability of choosing red is the number of red divided by total. So I'm going to take these expressions and combine them for a total expression, which is n plus 5 plus n plus 10. collecting like terms, that is 3n plus 15 for the total number of marbles. So what is our probability of select 3n plus 15? And we're told that he selects 2 marbles at random. So what is the probability that he chooses another red? Well, there's one less marble now. When we're thinking of 2 probabilities happening at the same time, we multiply those probabilities, okay? So there's no longer a red, there's one less red now. Sorry, there's one less red. So that's n minus 1. And the total number of marbles. Let's expand that. This becomes n squared minus n on the top, and on the bottom, let's put it into brackets, 3n plus 15, 3n plus 14. We can expand those brackets. Okay. That is 9n squared plus 45n plus 42n plus 210 with n squared minus n on the top. And that is 9n squared plus 87n plus 210 with n squared minus n on the top. And this is less than, we're told that this is less than 1 over 10. What we do is multiply both sides of this inequality by the expression on the bottom of the fraction to get rid of that fraction. That is n squared minus n is less than 1/10 of 9n squared plus 87n plus 210. 1/10 of all of these numbers, we're just going to move it a decimal place to the right. N squared minus n is less than 0.9n squared plus 8.7n plus 21. And we need to show that n squared minus 97n minus 210 is 9 is 0.1 n squared. 1n minus 8.7n is minus 9.7n. And there's no constant term on the left, so minus 21 on the left there. Okay, now we have decimals, so let's just decimals to one decimal place. So we're going to multiply the entire equation by 10. So 0.1 times 10, that leaves us with 1, so that's just n squared minus 9.7 times 10, 97n, and then 21 times 10 minus 210 is less than 0. And we were told to show that n squared minus 97n minus 210 is less than 0, and that is what we have come to at the end. Fantastic. Okay, now part B, by solving this equation, n squared minus 97n minus 210 is less than 0, work out the maximum number of marbles that Alex could have. Okay, so you might see straight away that there's no factors of 210 that add to make 97. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. We're working with n, so normally it would be x, but n equals 2 minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, let's substitute our coefficients in. Remember that this is a, b, and c. So n equals 2 minus b minus 97 is positive 97 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 97 squared. Well, there's no such thing as a negative square number, right? So that's going to be positive 97 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is minus 210. All over 2 times a, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so let's plug this into our calculator and see what we get. If we do the positive first, positive, where I use this as a positive in the calculator, and then next I will use the negative in the calculator. The positive comes out to be 99.119, and the negative minus 2.119. So what do these numbers actually represent? So we were starting with a quadratic. Quadratic looks like this, and these two values correspond to the points on the x-axis, because we've pretended that this is 0 even though it's less than 0. Okay, we've said that it is 0. So yeah, that's where those numbers come from. The n represents a number of marbles, so we're not going to have a negative number of marbles. We're not going to have 0.119 or 0.12 marbles. We're going to have a 99 whole marbles. Okay, and we need to work out the maximum number of marbles that Alex could have. Well, we had a total number of marbles that Alex had in a algebraic expression here, 3n plus 15. So let's plug our 99, our maximum here, into that expression. 3 times 99 plus 15. This becomes, in your calculator, 312 marbles. Okay, the maximum number of marbles that Alex could have. Okay, question 10. A number is increased by 30%, then decreased by 40%, and increased again by 20%. What is the overall percentage change from the original number? Well, the original number is, well, it's 100%, right? And if the number is increased by 30%, then we're multiplying by 1.3. If we're decreasing by 40%, it's the same as multiplying by 0.6. And increasing by 20, multiplying by 1.2. So let's do that. Let's do 1.3 times 0.6 times 1.2. This comes out as 0.936. If we times this by 100, we get this as a percentage, 93.6%. And this is our final number, and the final amount of the number, the overall percentage change from the original number. If we do 93.6 minus 100, we're left with minus 6.4, which is minus 6.4%. So the overall percentage change from the original number is 6.4% decrease. Okay. Now, question 11, expand n plus 2, bracket n minus 2, bracket n plus 5. I'm just going to focus on the first two brackets first. So n times n, we get n squared. N times minus 2n. You might notice this is the difference of 2 squares, right? So these are going to cancel. So 2 times n plus 2n. Plus 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Yep, those cancel. We have n squared minus 4. And then we bring down our n plus 5, our third bracket, and we can expand this one now. N squared times n cubed, n squared times 5 plus 5n, minus 4n, and minus 20. That can't be simplified any further, so we've expanded it. There we go, final answer. Okay, I think this is the last question now. Question 12, C is a circle with center 0, 0. L is a straight line. The circle C and the line L intersect at the points P, Q, and the coordinates of P are 5 and 10. The x-coordinate of Q is minus 2, and L has a positive gradient and crosses the y-axis at the point 0, K, and we need to find the value of K. Okay. So I'm going to just write that P is 5, 10, so it's in red and it's bright and I can see it. Q is minus 2, and we don't know the y. L crosses the y-axis, y-axis at the point. So L at y, 0, K. Okay, we need to find K. What are we going to be working with here? We've got a circle. What is the equation of a circle? the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared. X squared plus y squared equals to r squared. Okay. Let's just work with this for now. So we can plug in a point P. We know that there's a point P. We have both the x and the y. So 5 squared plus 10 squared equals to r squared. Now, can we rearrange the equation of a circle to find our missing value for missing y value for q? Well, q's x value is minus 2. That's 4 plus y squared is 125. Y squared is 121. 121 square rooted is 11. Plus or minus 11. We don't know if it was positive or negative, so y is plus or minus 11. Okay. So let's see, what have we got here? We know that L has a positive gradient. Positive gradient going from the lower left to the upper right, positive gradient. And P has both a positive and x value and a positive y value. So P is in the upper right quadrant. And the circle's center is at 0, 0. Maybe I could draw a diagram. The circle center is at 0, 0. Roughly like that. P is somewhere up here. Let's say P is here. So if L has a positive gradient, let's just draw a random line, then Q has to be in the lower left gradient. So it's minus 11, okay? Okay. Now we could work out the gradient now of the line L because we have 2 points, both the x and y values. We have 2 points that this line crosses. So let's do that up here, do it in blue. The equation for a gradient is a change in y over the change in x. So let's choose our y values are 10 and minus 11. So if we do minus 11 minus 10 over minus 2 minus 5, minus 21 over minus 7, this becomes positive 3. So our gradient of L is positive 3. Now we have a point that we have the gradient of the line and a point that it passes through. We can find the equation of a line now. Okay, let's do that in blue as well. The equation of a line, we have y minus y1 equals to m bracket x minus x1. Let's substitute p in. So y minus 10 equals to our gradient of 3 times by x minus 5. Let's expand and rearrange that. We get y equals to 3x minus 15, and then we're adding the 10 from the left to the right. So y equals to 3x minus 5. Okay. We need to find the value of k, and L crosses the y-axis at the point 0, k. Let's plug in our x equals to 0. So y equals to, well, 0 minus 5. So y is minus 5, which is k. So k is minus 5. Okay. There we go. There we go, that's the end. So thank you. If you're revising, then I really recommend that you work through these on your own and then just double check with my working. Include as much of your method as you can to get maximum marks, okay? Perfect. Thank you.